Hey guys, welcome back to FreckleFace Finance, where we discuss personal finances open and honestly so that you can live the life that you deserve. So whether you're a beginner and you're looking to take positive control of your finances on your beginning journey of financial independence, or if you've been on this journey for a while and you're just looking for tips to actually enhance that process, this video is going to teach you guys how to do a budget, and it is very beginner friendly. I think a lot of the times people make budgeting so complex, and I think it really scares people away from wanting to even attempt to do it. But I promise you guys, budgeting is not scary. It's a great idea to understand what income you have coming in, what expenses you have going out, so that you can take positive control of your finances and create the life that you deserve. But if you really want to take positive control of your finances and actually reach financial independence, you have to make a budget. It is just definitely crucial in that process. So I'm going to be teaching you guys today how to make a budget for beginners, and I'm actually going to walk you guys through how I budget myself. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, then just make sure you keep on watching. So in order to create a budget, because I have a psychology background, I definitely focus on the hierarchy of needs. So before you focus on anything else, you have to have your basic needs met. So that is things like housing and food, literally housing and food. Everything else in this first part of our budget, anything that's not one of those two things can be considered extra. So once you have your basic needs met, then you can move on to things that are required in order for you to meet those basic needs. So the second category is going to be expenses that are required in order for you to meet your basic needs. So these would be things like transportation in order for you to get to the job that's going to meet your basic needs of having housing, having food. Another thing that would go into this category would be possibly having a cell phone, something that's going to help you out in emergencies or look for new jobs or be contacted by your job. So these are the type of things that would be included in that second category. And so the third category would be considered extracurricular activities or entertainment. So these will be things such as dining out, cable, believe it or not, that is not a basic need. That is something extra that should be put off once you have all of your basic needs met. Vacations, those are also things that would be considered entertainment and extracurricular activities. So now that we've discussed those three categories, which is basic needs, securing those basic needs, and then extracurricular activities or entertainment, I'm going to take this time to go ahead and write out some items myself so that you guys can see a real life example. So a nice little tip that I don't think a lot of people are familiar with is that you can actually tell the companies when your bill is due. So for example, if you have an electric bill and your electric bill is due on the 11th, you can actually call the electric company and tell them, hey, I actually want my bills to be due on the 22nd. And they'll move it to the 22nd. It's just that easy. So because I know this tip, I typically have 2 due dates each month for all of my bills. So half of my bills are due the Tuesday after I get paid at the beginning of the month, and then half of my bills are due the Tuesday after I get paid at the end of the month. And so I find that to be a very organized way in order for me to keep track of what's coming out, and I have never had an issue. I find this to be a big help as opposed to having random bills come out throughout the month. There's just 2 days. Those 2 days are only days that I have bills that are automatically deducted from my bank account. So I also recommend that you divide your bills into variable expenses and fixed expenses. So an example of a fixed expense would be like your rent, mortgage, those type of things you know you're going to have the same payment every month. And then a variable expense would be like gas or food. Those bills tend to fluctuate depending on what you buy in that given month. Another tip is that I think everyone should be on automatic payments. And hear me out, I know that some people absolutely hate it, but I think that if you have a good budget, it just cuts down on a lot of the guesswork, and you're not stressed out about paying bills on time, and it definitely is going to make sure that everything is paid and you're not worried about anything. So a good way for you to be able to get started on having everything just automatically deduct from your checking account is that you build up a good cushion within your bank account. So in order to get the automatic payment system started, you have to create a budget, and then once you get that budget laid out, I recommend having an extra $300 to $500 in your checking account so that you can make sure that there's not going to be any type of overcharging. But as long as you have your budget in place, you should be completely fine. So not only does the automatic payment system help with reducing your stress when it comes to paying bills, but it also helps making sure that your payments are due on time and paid in full, which is definitely going to help increase your credit card your credit card, which is definitely going to help increase your credit score. If you guys are interested in those tips on how to increase your credit score, because your girl has an 800 credit score myself, if you guys are interested, just leave a comment down below and I can go over what I did to make sure that I had a really nice credit score. If I get enough comments, I can create a video on how I was able to do that. But that is a nice little side effect of having your bills on automatic payments. Alright you guys, so now that I've talked about the different priorities that you should be looking at when it comes to making a budget, as well as making it easy on yourself and making sure that your bill due dates line up with your actual pay schedule, and making sure that you're signing up for automatic payments, there's really nothing left to do except for go ahead and walk through an example of creating a budget. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my laptop. So in order to have realistic expectations of what your budget is actually going to look like, I definitely recommend that you print out your bank statements for the last 3 months. Like, you're going to need your bank statements so you can see actually what you're spending your money on and have a realistic expectation of what your budget should look like. So before we get started with filling out an actual budget, I definitely recommend that you be honest with yourself on your spending habits. So in order for you to do this, you have to look through your bank statements in order to see what you've been spending your money on and how much money you have coming in. I'm very good with hard copy things. Like, I love printing stuff out. I love highlighting things. But if that's not your thing, that's cool. But you definitely have to have an honest conversation with yourself and look at what you've been spending your money on. So once you have your bank statements pulled up, let's go ahead and get started with filling out the actual budget. So here's an example of a really easy budget, and everything is automated for you. So you just have to put in your income. If you get paid on a bi-weekly basis, that's great. That easily fits into the budget. But also if you get paid on a weekly schedule, that works in this budget as well. So here I'm just inputting my income. I am a salary employee, so I get paid the exact same amount every 2 weeks. But if for some reason I received a bonus or got a cash award, there is a place in here for me to put in how much I expected to get on my paycheck versus how much I actually got. And then also I put additional spaces down below in case I received income from other sources. So as you guys know, I have a YouTube channel, but I am currently not receiving any income from that channel, but you can change that. If you just like this video and subscribe to my channel, then maybe in the future I can start receiving income for YouTube, especially for the hard work that I put into these videos. And so the expense summary is where you're going to put those variable expenses. And so we talked earlier in the video about fixed expenses versus variable expenses. And so your fixed expenses are bills that are going to be the exact same every month. And so some of you might be thinking, oh, well, your electricity bill will fluctuate. Well, I actually pay the exact same amount in electricity no matter how much my bill is. So I pay $120 every month. So even if my bill is $80, I always pay $120, and that way when my bill is higher than $120, it can just pull it automatically from any type of credit that I have with the electric company. Next is the savings summary, and so this is where you're going to input how much you put for your emergency fund. I'm personally saving because I want a rental property, so that's what the house is for, vacation, and then I left space for you to put anything else in there. So if you have a brokerage account, 401k, all of those type of things are going to go into the summary, the savings summary. And so I did not put my 401k in this savings summary because I actually have my 401k contributions come out directly, so they never hit my bank account. So all of these expenses are what is not automatically deducted before it hits my bank account. These are all things that I put in personally once I receive my paycheck. And so the 401k is something that I have automatically deducted and is contributed to my 401k before it even hits my paycheck. So that is truly the definition of pay yourself first. So this budget is going to be able to calculate your income, your expenses, when your bills are due, if you plan on saving for anything, and it also has a section where you can detail what you're actually spending your money on. Everything is categorized for you, so you don't have to make up your own category. So if you guys watched my last video, then you know that I have recently opened up my Etsy page. So if you're interested in the budget that I use for this video, you can go ahead to my Etsy page down below, or I'm really not good at selling stuff, y'all, because I think financial independence should be available to everybody. So if you like a free version of it, you can go ahead to the Facebook group that I created. I also have that link down in the description box below. If you join the Facebook group, you can just look at the budget for free there. Also too, on my Etsy shop, I also sell resume templates. So if that interests you, that's available on my shop as well. Alright you guys, so if you found this video even a little bit helpful, please make sure to give me a thumbs up so it can be pushed to a larger audience, and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you can be notified of when I make future videos. Alright, I hope that y'all found this helpful. Good luck on your financial independence journey, and I'll see y'all on my next one. Alright, bye.